Hi, hello. I'm Graham Waters, the founder of Oven Gleamers, and I thought I'd do a video on the way we've got to where we are with our training process. So, I started with just me in a van in 2004, and we grew quite quickly. We spent quite a lot of money on marketing, or I should say, we lost a lot of money on marketing. We spent lots of money on putting adverts out there, which necessarily didn't work. But anyway, we grew the business. And 18 months after I started, I was getting booked up 5 weeks in advance. So we could see there was an issue. So I was doing 5 jobs a day and we were booked up 5 weeks in advance. So we needed somebody to help me because we decided rather than just me in a van, we decided we would grow the business. So we decided to take somebody on. Now, by that time, I was living quite away from where I originally started the business. So I started, if you know anything about the Southwest, I started the business in Taunton, and then I met my wife shortly after starting the business, so I moved in with her, and she lived in Wiltshire. And because I'd already established a market in Taunton, and I was trying to get Arga jobs in Devon, so I was getting quite a lot of bookings in the south of Taunton, in Devon. I wanted somebody to operate out of Taunton, so when we came to employing somebody, or I should say recruiting somebody, we advertised in Taunton, and we interviewed the people who would apply, and then we chose somebody from those people. Now, so he was living in Taunton, I was in Wiltshire. I was driving down and picking him up in Taunton, and then we go out cleaning ovens in the day. Now, it took us ages to actually. Well, it took me ages to actually get him up. It's probably lack of my own experience and also confidence in the person. So whether we chose the right person on the first go. Anyway, it took about 5 to 6 weeks before I felt confident that he was up to speed. And when it came to him to be working in the van, so basically I said to him, right, you're going to be out working in the van in next week. He said to me, well, I don't think he actually replied to me straight away, but it was over a process of days. He came back to me and said, sorry, I can't really work for you anymore because my consultant has told me that I can't kneel down because I've got this problem with my knee. And it was from a sporting injury which he'd acquired before he actually started with us. He didn't actually declare it in the interview. He didn't tell us at all. All we knew was that he was going off to hospital visits, and he didn't really tell us what they're about. Anyway, so he left, and I think it was like 2 weeks before the busy Christmas period, and we had arranged it so that we would go on holiday over the Christmas period, and the new employee would cover the jobs that we booked in. And then when I came back after Christmas, my new van was arriving, so we would have 2 vans on the road from the start of the new year. So I only had a period of 2 weeks to train this person up. So what I did, we went back to the list of people we interviewed, and we chose somebody else. And I took this guy on, and I told him, look, we've got to get you up to speed in 2 weeks. So I went out cleaning him, and there was more of an urgency there. We really had to get him trained up. He really had to be up to speed. He really had to do everything at the standard that we were looking for. So I really had to push him. So I was really sort of under pressure to get him up to speed. And so we're doing the jobs. He was making mistakes, and he was getting negative about the mistakes. But I was on a mission basically to get him trained up to the standard. And there was at one point he was saying, "No, there's no way I can go on anymore." He just sort of gave up. But we persuaded him that he was doing fine. He was actually doing fine. The sort of mistakes he was making were small. Well, it seemed big to him because the consequences of what could have been if he'd carried on, if I hadn't been there to stop him, if you see what I mean. But we persuaded him to carry on. He took my van over whilst I was on holiday. We didn't get a single complaint. No problem whatsoever. Everybody loved him. So that's how we got from me taking 6 weeks to train somebody to going down to 2 weeks to train somebody. And I sort of obviously learned from that. And then when we took on of more employees, because so he's my first employee, and then we took on another 3 guys within another year. So I got an experience of how to train people up, and all the new guys. What I did, instead of the guy who did the 2 weeks, I trained him to do basically everything in 2 weeks. It was all sorts of ovens, rangers, Arga cookers. We did everything in those 2 weeks to get him up to speed. Because he had to replace me. He had to do the jobs that I was going to be doing. I would have done if I'd been there and not on holiday. But when we took on the next employees, there was no urgency for them to be able to do everything. So what we did, we trained them for 5 days on just doing the standard ovens. So standard single ovens, standard double ovens, hobs and extractors, and microwaves. And then we did... So the plan was, it worked out. This is what we did. They trained for 5 days with me. At the end of the week, I did a testing. Basically, I went out with them. I let them get on with all the jobs on their own. So basically, I just sat outside in the van and just let them get on with doing the job, and then check the job at the end, and everything's fine. And then the following week, they would go out on their own doing, and we'd already got the jobs booked in, 3 jobs a day for that whole week. So that was the pattern of how we got people trained, and then they would come back, or they wouldn't come back. I would go out with them, and I would train them in the bigger cookers. So I would train them in the range cooker, and then train them in the Arga cooker. So that's what we did, and that's the way it worked out. Now, before I started franchising, I did training courses for people who want to start their own oven cleaning business, and I did the same method with them, except we did some Arga cleaning and some range cleaning. So when it came to franchising the business, so we've been franchising now for coming up for 6 years actually. My first franchisee started in October 2010, and when it came to training him, I did this everything as well. So he did singles, standard ovens, double ovens, hobs extractors, microwaves, Arga cookers and range cookers, and we did a slightly extended course. We did like 2 weeks, but I thought that's a bit too long really. So what we did, we reduced it to a week. We ran with it for a week, and then I realised we weren't really doing as much Arga cooker training as I wanted to. I think we were just doing one Arga. So what I did was increase the course slightly to 7 days of practical training. So go from 1 week to 7 days, so we could get more Arga cleaning in. So we do 2 Arga cleanings now, maybe 3, and that's allowed me to get the franchisees up to a better standard on cleaning Argas, and I feel more confident that they can go out and do Argas straight away. And it's really working. They're getting lots of Argas, and they're getting them up to standard. So we do the 7 days training, and we do. My wife does 3 business days, 3 days of business training. So that's how I got from spending 6 weeks training somebody to training taking 7 days. Obviously, I know what I'm doing now, and I've got a system in place where we take people through the main basics in our training kitchen, and then I go out with them on the road to do real customers. They get real jobs booked in, and we do that from day 2 onwards. So it's going to be 6 days out with real practical training. Okay, so that's how we got to our current system of training. And if you are interested in a franchise with us, below this video you'll find a link. It's either going to be a box you can click on, a button you can click on, or a link you can click on, or like a little button if it's on Facebook. Click on that, you go through to a form, put your details in there, and you will get immediate access to our franchise pack and also my free guide. And if you're interested in a franchise, book in to come and see us, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye.